I don't know. I get nervous. I mean, I've done so much, from mine rescue competition to you mentioned powerlifting, which I'm no powerlifter by no far stretch, but I have done a couple powerlifting competitions, to CrossFit competitions, to, the Toughmans and all this stuff. And, I've always get super nervous. Like you would think like you expose yourself to all this stuff and you just like, I'm nervous coming on here today. Like, I'm just like,
sure.
But you just like, well, it is what it is, man. You roll with the punches, no pun intended. But,
yeah. That's a good way of saying it. Like, cause once you get in like a boxing match, the punches, it's not really that big a deal. Now, sometimes, if you get caught, it's like, whoa, that's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not like what you would think it would be.
Right.
Once you're in there.
Yeah. Well, I had this old trainer back in the day, Carl Murdoch, great guy, out of Mount Hope. He's an old coal miner and he trains tough man fighters. Fantastic guy. Truly has a heart of gold, but on the surface is as rough as a cob. And, he would tell me, he'd say, you ain't got a bit of talent, Dave. You can't throw punches. You don't move your head. He'd say, but dang it, you can take a beating. I'm like, well, I guess there's something, but I would be in the fight, man. And I would come out of the ring. I'd be like, man, Carl, that guy never even hit me. And he'd say, Dave, that guy hit you a lot. And I guess you're just so keyed up, man. You're just out there. I'm just like going, man. I'm like, yeah, dude, and I'd come out and think, man, that guy never even touched me. And meanwhile, my nose is bleeding. I'm like, apparently, I guess he did.
Adrenaline flow. And you're just like, oh, I would imagine. Did you win your first one?
I got runner up. I fought the Rough N Rowdy in Summersville. And I can't, it's probably 2013, 14, something like that. Fought in Summersville, got runner up. And I fought a handful of amateur fights here and there, and I won all my amateur fights. The next time I fought was in Welch at the Rough N Rowdy in Welch, which is the story all in and of itself.
I'd love to hear it. Is this when Barstool took over?
No, this is before Barstool. So this was back in the day, and so the guy the promoter of Rough N Rowdy then. His name is Chris. He started, this is back again, this is 2012, 13, 14. He was going to like local gas stations in like Boone County or in McDowell County. And he's going to these gas stations and he's calling up these fighters, these guys that have signed up. And you just have to know there's some characters, yeah. Dude. Like I couldn't exaggerate the guys that are fighting in some of these events. He would call these guys up and he'd be like, hey man, this other guy that's signed up for this fight, he's been talking trash about you and saying that, all the guys from Boone County are a blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
Fill in the blank. So he would get these guys to meet him at a gas station and these guys would be just jacked up, bro. I mean, they was like, some of them would have like chainsaws and they're like, oh, you boys from McDowell County. And they would just be like, fired up. So this Welch Rough N Rowdy was no different. Okay. So they had got this guy from Kentucky and his ring name was Big Kentucky. Okay. So he's coming to Welch. Well, I guess Chris had got this guy and he told him, these Welch boys are ready to whoop you or whatever the case may be. So he gets this guy, he gets on this, makes this video and he's saying, I'm coming to Welch from Kentucky. He burns a WVU jersey.
Oh, wow.
He says, I'm coming to Welch and I'm taking all you Welch women and I'm whooping all you Welch boys' butts. Well, you might get away with saying that about the people from Charleston or Beckley.
Right.
But you're not going to get away with saying that about the people of Welch.
Sure, yeah.
They wanted to kill him.
Right.
Like security had to follow this guy around the whole night. Well, so I end up fighting like every previous winner, every previous runner up. I'm fighting for 2 nights in a row. I'm fighting I'm beat to death by the time I get to the championship fight. They give this guy Big Kentucky a cakewalk. They give him because they want him in the championship fight. I mean, this is the hype, bro. I mean, you know what I mean? What do they say? No publicity is bad publicity. But they freaking hated this dude. And if I would have carried a shotgun into the ring and shot this guy in the ring, they would have gave me the keys to Welch, son. They wanted him dead. I mean, there was people coming up to me when they realized that me and him had to fight the championship fight. They're like, dude, you gotta kill this dude. And so we get in the ring. First thing, bell rings. This kid breaks my nose. Okay. Oh, no. Blood's pouring and he's just throwing haymakers. He's real tall and long. He's beating me to death, man. Okay. And this is round 1. And I'm like, I'm giving it all I got, but it's a 1 minute round. So it's 1 minute of basically throwing haymakers and let the chips fall where they may. Right at the end of the round, I basically get lucky and punch this kid right in the diaphragm. I mean, I come from the ground. It was like the nose is bleeding, bro. I'm dying. I'm losing. I'm like, this is everything I got. I come from the ground and I hit this kid in the diaphragm and he just melts into the ring.
Oh, wow.
Bro, they were putting the jacket on me. They were giving me the check. This kid's still laying in the ring. Like, they're just like, kids came up and hugged me, bro. Grandmas kissed me. They were like, thank you for what you did for the city of Welch. And I'm thinking, bro, I was just trying to survive out there. But yeah, for sure. I've got
what does that
wild tales,
like,
bro?
When you threw that punch, could you hear the crowd or did you hear nothing and all of a sudden it just went
bro?
Like, what was that like?
I was just happy to survive, man. I mean, I said earlier that sometimes I would get out of the ring and think that the guy had never punched me. I knew that guy punched me like that. Right. I mean, it was out of the gate. My nose, blood was pouring down my chin. And, yeah, I mean, I was just happy to survive, man. I mean, I was just like, it was win, lose, or draw. Like I said before, I just didn't want to get humiliated out there. And he was humiliating me. I mean, he was kicking my butt, man.
Right. Man, I wish, is that on video somewhere?
Oh, man.
I have to try and look
probably is, but that's old stuff right there. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.